So we're going to start section 1.1, and at the beginning of any kind of new set of material, we're going to see a lot of terminology. So there's going to be some terminology kind of just intermittent throughout, but definitely at the beginning of many of the chapters we're going to see this, and this is going to be our starting spot for that. So some terminology first. So some of these things you've seen before because they show up in geometry. They're going to feel very similar, and a few things that we're going to encounter maybe will be new as well. So to start with, we're going to talk about a ray. So a ray is a portion of a line that starts at point V and extends indefinitely in one direction. And so it looks something like this with a point at the end. So this is a ray, right? You've seen that before probably in geometry. An angle is two rays drawn such that they share that point V. So it looks something like this for a ray. The two sides of a ray generally are called the initial and the terminal angle. Most of the time when we're working with this kind of terminology, the initial side is horizontal, like this, and then the terminal side is somewhere else. So this is generally the initial. It's usually pointing to the right-hand side, and this one's the terminal. This point that they share, this corner point, is called a vertex. So the vertex is that point that's shared by the two rays. So over here, I'll promise I'll go back to the other screen. This is the vertex. And then angles don't just measure space between. Some angles are called positive and some angles are called negative. So the way we distinguish them is that we say if the angle is going, right, from the initial side to the terminal side, the way that I just drew it, in a counterclockwise direction, it's a positive angle. And if it's going in a clockwise direction, it's negative. So let me draw just a simple little picture over here. If the angle moves like this, where this one is initial, this is how I drew it initially on the other slide, and this one is terminal, then this is what we would call a positive angle. And again, usually the initial side is the horizontal, and if it goes counterclockwise like this, where this is the initial, and this one is the terminal, we call this a negative angle. And then the last thing we'll fill in here is degree measure. We're going to actually describe degrees and radians. Degree measure, 1 degree, is 1/360th of a circle. Okay, if you went all the way around, we call that 360 degrees. So if I am driving a car and then the car spins all the way around, right, that's a 360 degree turn. So a degree is 1/360th of a full rotation. And we use Greek letters a lot of times for angles, like almost exclusively. Some of the Greek letters we use are these. These are not the only ones. Theta is the most common that we will see used. Alpha has come into play in my notes thus far as well. Beta would be the next one usually, but there are others as well. And we're going to stop right there for today.